Happy weekly preview, guys! It is Guild Wars week, and we get a brand new faction at the end of the week. Let's just dive right in and see what's going on right now. That's right, it's Guild Wars time, which means today you are setting all your defenses for the appropriate color days. You are going into the Sentinels and you're getting all your Sentinels so your guildmates are nice and happy. And that is all you need to do to prepare for Guild Wars for the day. Just make sure your attack teams don't suck. I've got plenty of videos to help you there. But Guild Wars is upon us. In the event keys this time around, we have Blackhawk troops. Blackhawk, the kingdom of cosplaying pirate people. We got ourselves some Megavore up in this bad boy. So Megavore, very cool troop, lots of destruction from its spell ability, chance to just kill people on 4/5s. Not the worst, so if you're opening up event keys, that's the mythic that you're going for. Also new in the event keys, and only the event keys, is Captain Macaw. So this troop was just released this week. You can only get it out of the event keys, so if you're trying to get yourself this puffy-chested, red, smug bird dude, this is the place where you do it. As far as what it does, it's doing damage to an enemy, and if they're submerged, you kill them. Otherwise, you submerge them. This troop is super freaking weird, because obviously you can't control if the other team gets submerged. I know you could use something like a Krampus to submerge the other team sometimes, but this is such a weird mechanic. So unfortunately, bird not the best. Bird is not the word. As far as what else it does, you're getting 50% mana to all rogue allies at the start of a battle, so, you know, that part's okay, I guess. But Captain Macaw, only in the event keys this time around. Other notable things would be Kraken. Kraken is a decent monster. It does create some mana when you cast it, and sometimes it just eats people. That's fun, and it does a little damage to everybody on 4/5s. Skyla is also kind of fun. Creates a Bone Storm the moment there's a 4/5 match, so that's pretty weird. Damage is also potentially just lethal, so that's okay, I guess. And then everybody else is kind of okay. Scurvy Seadog would be a useful get because he's transforming, he's empowered, so that part's pretty fun. But that's about it as far as this kingdom's concerned. Not the highest priority troops overall, but Captain Macaw's in there, and it's only in there, so event keys this week probably should open just to get some puffy bird chest. In the glory rewards section, we've got first mate Axelubber. I mean, the art is kinda boss, but this guy is going to be great because he's an empowered converter. Starts with full mana, and then he's also converting blue to red. And then just bleeding someone, I guess? I mean, sure. So this troop, very high value. Please make sure you get yourself at least one copy. I would recommend you get a bunch, because you do get 2 arcanes every time you get them. You also get a bunch of gold keys and glory keys, so what are you waiting for? You pump that bad boy to mythic, and you move about your day. In the Soulforge this time around, you've got yourself some options. All of these mythics in here are pretty darn solid. Starting with Arachnine Weaver, not the worst. You do get to web everyone, you do some true damage, you blow up the board if you kill someone. Not the worst. Tina 9000 just there to super blam people with some true damage, and Obsidious, of course, the PvP specialist, just turning off all traits right away on any 4/5 match. Obviously, since it's a Guild Wars week, Obsidious would be the highest priority of all of these. I would say Obsidious is the highest priority of all of these anyway, but especially since it's a Guild Wars week, if you don't have an Obsidious, this would be a pretty sweet time to go get yourself one of them red beefy boys. Weapon-wise this time around, really nothing too crazy. Captain's Cutlass is creating a mix based on rogue allies. Rogues are generally not the best, so not the highest priority. Ocean's Protector you probably think is awesome, but it's not. So it's eliminating all the armor from an enemy, and then you gain a 1-to-1 boost ratio on that, so you just take all the armor that you do and you slap it on your life. That's kind of fun. But then it doesn't really do anything else. It submerges everybody on your team, but what do you do now that you got all that life? Probably not much. So that's out there. I wouldn't say either of them is really a high priority craft. I would say that the Cutlass would be the one that I would craft between the two, but I generally don't think either of these are the best things you could be spending your resources on. So at least as of right now, I would say you could pass on both of these. if you were going to craft any of them for potential future use, Captain's Cutlass will definitely potentially have future use. Ocean's Protector, not so much. Which brings us to the spoilers section. Tuesday, it is time to beat up the Warrens for the faction assault. This is the team that I use to beat up some Warrens people. One thing of note, of course, is that the first fight will be this double tricksters thing. So either kill them fast enough before you get switched, or let them switch you twice, but don't leave this fight with your team not looking like that's in this order. So make sure you do that. This is the team that I use, you can find it in the description. On Wednesday, you get to get this little mini mimic. Wow, its tongue is going to get destroyed by those chompers. But on Wednesday's Pet Rescue, you get this one. It gives you a gold bonus overall to all of your fights. So this pet, more than others, is pretty darn high value, so you make sure you get this thing on Wednesday. Thursday, we get ourselves a class event, and it's for the Corsair. Corsair is kinda whatever. It gets 2 bonus blue as its thing, it's a rogue Blackhawk type, and on its talent trees, you get some Hunter's Marks if you want them, you get some Freezes if you want them, and then you kinda get a lot of nothing else, really. Deluge is there, Dodging Skulls is there, ability to pump other rogues with magic on 4/5s is there, but I find this class very underwhelming, not so great. But if for some reason you can't get enough blue mana and you need that extra 1 or 2, maybe this is the class for you, if you think that rogues are great. For some teams you can use for this event, we've got the old Dawnbringer with a bunch of mana converty, explodey people, so you'll just be Dawnbringing your face off. If for God knows what reason you need to deal with Submerge, you can always switch your class from Corsair to something else that has Banishment, but that's your first team. Separately, you could be going with this, which is pretty much the same idea, only with way more explodey craziness with some skulls and damage to all. So if you feel like doing an offensive version of the team we just saw, this could be your option. Or if you just want to be super safe, this is an option where you're using all very basic troops, and then you're just using Pirate here to just pump up your team's attack up to 10 billion, and then you just have barriers, and every now and then you hope you match a skull and you kill some people. All of these options are viable for the class event on Thursday. But then on Friday, we get ourselves a brand new faction assault in the Werewoods. This is the layout here. In the top right, we can see that the map is going to be pretty annoying. It looks like you're going to have to do roughly like 5 fights every single time you run through this bad boy. On top of that, we are getting a new banner. The banner does look pretty sweet. 2 red, 1 green, and -1 blue. Beyond all of that, these are the troops that we have to play with. So starting first with the top, Beastmaster Torben. Torben here is kind of like the leader of the pack, quite literally. You'll see that every other troop in here is basically an animal companion to Beastmaster Torben, if you will. So every single time you cast him, there's a 25% chance he transforms into one of the 3 things below him. And then each of the 3 things below him, when they cast a spell, have a chance to turn into Torben. So all of this transforming stuff across 5 different fights is going to be very awkward. Whatever team you enter this fight with will not be the team that you leave it with. That all being said, starting with Beastmaster Torben, he is a dual converter with skulls, so already pretty darn cool. He's converting blues to reds and browns to skulls, and then he's Hunter's marking the first 2 enemies. So this guy is going to be really nice. As far as traits go, there's really nothing too crazy at the first 2, but then in the 3rd trait, we get ourselves 2 life and attack to all beast allies when matching 4 or more gems. So this guy is a beast, all of the other people in this thing are a beast, so that is going to be fun for the Pure Faction team. So Beastmaster Torben actually will have some value outside of this event. The fact that he actually gives 2 life and attack to all beasts with 4 or more means he'll have some value. He himself are a red-brown type troop, so this could be interesting. He'll definitely have value. I would strongly recommend you go get him, if nothing else. Up next is the Werebear. Werebear is exploding the red gems on the board and then enraging himself, and then potentially turning back into Torben. Beyond all of that, he does reduce damage from skulls by 20%, and that's about it. After that is Werebird. Werebird is just doing damage to an enemy boosted by red gems, and then he has a 15% chance to turn back into Torborn. Torburn. Beyond all of that, he does Hunter's Mark on enemies when doing skull damage, and he starts with 50% mana. He's kinda whatever. And then we get Werecat. I love the little flavor text here. Has a YouTube channel. You should like and subscribe. Please. For the love of God, like and subscribe this video. Anyway, so then this dude is just doing damage to an enemy, and if there's 13 or more red gems, it does triple the damage and creates 8 red gems. And then of course there's a chance it just turns into Torburn. Beyond all that, as far as its traits go, it has a 20% chance to just dodge skulls, and then it doesn't really do anything else. So these troops are pretty interesting. If I was going to put together a faction team of a pure faction team, it would probably look like Werebear up top since it has some skull reduction, followed by a Beastmaster Torburn, followed by a Werecat, and then followed by yet another Beastmaster Torburn. That seems to make sense to me, but we'll obviously have to play it out and see how that goes. Teams that I would use for the actual faction itself would be these. So first would be a Werewoods Hive, which would be for higher level people, using a Yasmine's Pride with a Yao, a Ketras, and a Possessed King. I would run it with the Sunspear at least for the first 100 to 200 levels. Potentially after that you'd want to change it to a Titan. But initially, Sunspear will be the way you just rock on through with that one. Separately, you can use Old Faithful here to just blast on through everything, which is taking advantage of the Shield of Urskaya and then using it on Rowanne, and you can just blam everyone through with that. But that's everything I got for you guys this week. The faction should be pretty ridiculous, so good luck doing all that crap. And of course, good luck in your Guild Wars. I'll be doing my Bracket 1 Guild Wars fights on stream at the regular stream time, so you can find them over there if you're looking to get me on Twitch land. Otherwise, for the non-streaming days, I'll be streaming first thing in the morning, probably around like 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's all I got for you guys this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.